What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the House Craze tonight, we have Mr. David Howard, aka Nem, and we're going to be talking about his book, Bloodwork, Phoenix Throne. We're going to be talking to him about that, and we're going to be talking about consignment versus resale. Yes, we're going to be talking about that, and yeah, man, sit back, relax, enjoy. Let's do this.
Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sid, the Crazy Man, Vera, and I am with...
Wow, George, the Dreamer, Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. It is July, man. It is July 2nd. What up? Is that Pops? I wonder if that's Pops.
Yeah.
Hugo's in the house. Lupon's in the house. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. We have a great show tonight. We have Nem, aka, well, actually David Howard, aka Nem. We're going to be talking to him about his book, and we're also going to be talking a little consignment, a little resale. We're going to be doing all of that. Kerry Chug, what up? Hades is in the house. Wow, Hades, late night for you tonight.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're gonna be hanging out. We're gonna be chilling. We're gonna be doing our thing.
Yeah, so get a little bubbly and join us.
Oh wow, you got a little bubbly going. Okay, all right, my friend. Dan's in the house. What up, D? All right, Dan Barlow's in the house. Yeah, man. So what's going on, Sam? We got a lot of stuff going on in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of months, I should say, for you, a couple of weeks. But what's happening? Talk to us.
What's happening, man? Let's see what's happening right now. I'm editing vlogs. New vlog coming out this Sunday. It'll be from Comic Palooza. That vlog. The next vlog from Superhero will be out a few weeks after that. But yeah, working on the vlogs. I'm getting ready to for my first appearance at the Texas Latino Comic Con. It's going to be dope. It's a one-day show. I'm excited about that. You know, building my network. You know, I got the invite. I feel special. I got, you know, so I'm like, I'm excited branching out in Texas. But not only that, I mean, the Texas, the next few months, I have a few shows. So getting ready for not only that, but right after that, Bell County Comic Con, then College Station Comic Con, then Cowtown Comic Con, and then Denton Comic Art Expo. So that's going to wrap up in October. So between now and October, I got 5 more shows. And then I'm taking the rest of the holiday season off. And then I'll reset and think about next year. I'm really considering San Diego Comic Con for next year. So that's on the table. I'm not sure just yet. I'll make the decision by August. And but yeah, so next year, looking at different strategies for touring. I think I did 12 shows this year. So we'll see what happens next year. But that's what I'm doing there. And then just editing the vlogs and then catching up on the comic books and then working a lot. That's it.
Yeah, I know. You also have, I think, duties in a newspaper, I think.
Yeah, man. Duties reading.
That's right. That's right.
Me. Yeah, it's a kid in a comic, bro.
There. He's holding.
Yeah, he's all the way back there. He's reading the latest edition. He's reading. 7. In fact, I got it somewhere over here. Where are you? Damn, bam. So yeah, Duty is a comic strip and a kid in the comic. The 7th issue has been shipped out. So you should have it. It's a comic newspaper dedicated to only comic strips. And Duty is in there, and I'm pretty excited to be part of that. So visit akidinthecomic.com, akidinthecomic.com to order your copy, or go to your local comic shop or bookstore and ask them to carry it. And reach out to a Kid in the Comic. So that's pretty dope. What is this? Hugo. Hey there. Hey, oh, okay. So that's what's going on there. And then I got a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool things that came out of the Superhero Comic Con. So there is for the Texas Latino Comic Con, I do have a duty as Chapulín sticker and print, and I also have duty as the Joker sticker and print. So that's gonna be dope.
Nice. Hey, for those who don't know who El Chapulín Colorado is, he is, I guess, the Spanish version of. He did a lot of things. He was a superhero. He was a Spanish superhero in a show called Chespirito. That is a Mexican program. Really, really funny. A lot of people grew up on him. A lot of Hispanics know about El Chapulín Colorado because we grew up on him. And yeah, man, it's gonna be dope. I'm glad you did that. That's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be a good time. In fact, I'm gonna show you the duty as a Chapulín print, but this is the duty as the Joker print that's gonna be available 5x7.
Let me tell you something. That's probably the best thing that came out of Superhero Comic Con, right?
Yes.
That's the best thing that came out of there because show.
I got the Duty of Friends print. That's it. But the Duty as Goku is probably the number one requested character for Duty to be drawn as so far. But I don't know why Chapulín's not coming up. But let's see. I'm gonna try it one more time. If not, yes. Oh, there it is. Bang. So there's Duty as Chapulín. So that one is pretty smooth. So look at that belly, the signature belly. So that's going to be available as a print and a sticker. So I'm excited about that as well.
Nice. When I was in the UK, so I moved to Texas. Yeah, it's got to be tough for you guys when you're on the other side of the pond with the time. I'm actually in Cali this week, so
I'm going back to Cali.
5:00 in the afternoon. But like, you know what I mean. So I can only imagine what it's like to be on the other side all the way. Yeah, it's nice and early here. All right, Carrie, good for you, brother.
Yeah.
You know what's happening? Okay, so I'm in Cali. I went out to visit some comic book shops out here.
Nice.
And yeah, big shout out to DJ's Comic and Collectibles, I believe is the name of the comic book shop. I found a couple of amazing Spider-Mans. I collect that, so I was looking for that. But they put me on to this comic book convention that's happening this weekend, or Ohana Comic Con or whatever. They actually do different one-day shows throughout Cali, and this weekend on Sunday they'll be in a town called Hanford here in Cali, and it's a strictly comic book show. It's all just comics.
Those are the best.
It is. Yeah, entrance is $8. You know what I mean?
Pesos.
Yep, it's from 11 to 4. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like. So I'm gonna go check it out this Sunday. It's gonna be off the hook. Nem is saying at Chapulín, we had a guy named that on our soccer team. What's up, 80s? Thanks for dropping in. That's why. Yeah. All right. So anyway, so for me, this month, because it's already July 20th, I will be at Plastic City Comic Con.
That's the same day I'm going to be at Latino Comic Con.
Yeah. One-day shows, both one-day shows. So I'll be there with my book, The Adventures of Wonder Duck, and Ross 5377, the 25th anniversary edition. That's the wrong one. Put out by published by ASAP Imagination. So pick those books up. Admission is $10. It's a one-day show at the Hilton Double
Pesos.
Yes, man, in Leominster, Massachusetts. Now, this is what it's about, bro. It's those inexpensive shows where people have enough money to actually spend on what's going on inside. I've just watched 2 police chases in CA today. It's nuts. Yeah, I'm in a quiet little town out here, so nothing happens out here. Hey, Ed, what's up? End of Zed. Can't wait for that book to come out. And then Wicked Comic Con in August. Yeah, August 10th and 11th, I believe is 10th and 11th. Go to wickedcomiccon.com if you want to pick up your tickets. And before you check out, make sure you type in promo code Get Your Meds, one word, Get Your Meds with a Z, and you're going to get 10% discount. So if you haven't bought your tickets for Wicked Comic Con in Boston, do so. Go to wickedcomiccon.com and pick that up. I'm also doing a bunch of stuff, man. I'm lettering. I showed you. I got a big shout out to Joseph Olesko, who's going to be working with me on another book. He was an artist on the Wonder Duck book, and he's putting together some incredible art. Big shout out to him. And also C. Michael Lanning, who helped me with some of the cleaning up some of my designs for the book. So I have a little team going here to push that book, The Shameless Plug, which was edited by ASAP Imagination's very own L.A. Cunningham. So big shout out to the whole crew out there and to Hades and everybody. Can't wait to talk to Nem
Pops.
in just a few minutes. But yeah, man, that's what's going on, dude. That's what's going on. Got a lot of stuff going on, man. Got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, so, and I think the heat in Texas is tripping. Texas be tripping with the weather. We went from
what's your weather?
What's your weather?
What's your weather like?
The last time I checked, it was almost 100. 100.
I'm at 107, bro.
107.
It is hot. 107. Wow. It is hot. It is hot here.
We for some reason it's going backwards, which means there's a storm coming. So it was predicted to go past 100, then it started going backwards. It's going down to the 90s. That means it's potential rain and a storm coming. And when that happens, that means tornadoes or hailstorms or the past recent weather patterns have destroyed my roof. I have to get my roof repaired. It's just can't get a break out here.
Yeah, man.
It reached 100 degrees here in Austin. Word, caliente.
Ooh,
sizzling. Hey. Yeah, man. So this is a lot going on. There's trying to keep up with everything. I really want to get Kill Every Spawn. That what's his name? Sketch something is doing for McFarlane. Did you see that series? It's a 5-part mini. Sketchcraft. I think that's his name. The artist.
Really?
The art is sick, and it drops in August, and it's called Kill Every Spawn, and it's like every spawn's in it in that 5-issue, and he usually does the gaming and he does covers, but his art is sick, and I want that. I want to get that series. We're in the 90s, and the wind is stopping everyone from lighting fireworks.
That's right, man. 4th of July.
That's right. It's 4th of July week. I don't even remember that. I was like, dang.
That's right, buddy. That's right.
Go local and take it easy.
Going down.
Down. But with that, we do have a good topic today, and I think it's about time we get into that topic and get
let's
some
talk about it.
Yeah, man. Let's do this.
It's time for your medicine.
Consignment versus resale.
Yes, indeed.
Why this topic, Jorge Medina? Hey,
Chad, what's up? No, man. When we were out in San Antonio at the superhero or the super celebrity Comic-Con, we there was a lot of time to walk around. I mean, there was a lot of and there were a lot of on the other side, there were a few comic book vendors, and I spoke to a couple of them. And so, some of them said that they would take the comics, right? But some of them did consignment and some of them did resale. But a lot of that stuff was done through Diamond, right? They would go through Diamond and they would do that. So I figured, you know what? This may not be for the old heads or the guys who have been doing this for a while. I think this is more for like the new guys who are coming in, or the new gals who are coming in to kind of self-publish and, get into the market. There are 2 ways to go about it when you go into these stores, right? You have consignment and you have straight up just resale, right? Lori's in the house. Lori, you were just on the show. Lori ain't playing, bro. No. She is promoting. Path of the Pale Rider. If you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. But yeah, Sam, so you being the business head, right? You being that guy that's all about, the business of comics. You want to tell us a little bit about what consignment is for those watching?
Consignment is you don't get paid up front. You get paid if it sells, and there's usually a clause. If it doesn't sell, then they return it to you in whatever condition it's returned to you, and you lose out, right? So that's basically what consignment is. I don't do consignment at all. The only time I've done. I'm going straight into it. Right there.
I know. Hold on. All right, so that's
business.
That's consignment. That's consignment. So you bring your books in. You say, hey, can you sell these? If they don't sell, blah blah blah. Right?
Word. That's consignment.
Resale. Talk to us about resale, and then tell us about why you hate one over the other. So, guys,
I'm gonna let you talk about resale. How about that?
What do you mean?
I picked one. You pick one.
No, tell us about resale. You know about this stuff,
huh? She sells by the seashore. So I'm not sure what you're referring to. What you're talking about? If you're acting as a distributor for the comic shop and you're delivering it yourself and they're selling it and they pay you up front.
Correct.
Right? So they pay you at like it's usually like at cost, right? Mm-hmm. Or Or usually if you're selling your book for $5, they'll give you, $2.50 or $3, all depends on what. This way they make $2 on their end. And sometimes even with that, they have a buyback clause. So you got to be very mindful of that as well.
Yeah.
But I prefer wash my hands, give me my money, you take it, you sell with it. If it doesn't sell, it goes into your long box and at a discount, whatever, it's yours. For me, I just walk away and take the money. So that's my preferred approach to when I'm doing it one-on-one with the comic shop, unless it's a local comic shop and we have a deal and I'm doing signings and all that other stuff, then I'm flexible. But if it's like long distance comic shops, it's pay me first.
Yeah, we've done both. I remember when we went into Midtown Comics way back in the days when we were in there, before they were forced to kind of like go through Diamond and stuff like that. It was a lot of that guerrilla kind of like going in there and say, hey, I got a book, put it in the shelves. And we did both. I think it depends, right? I mean, like you said, your preference is not to do the consignment deal, right?
Yeah, that's my preference.
But as a newbie, sometimes you
got to make intentions. Yeah.
Right. You take that just because you want to get your book in stores and stuff like that. So you take the consignment deal. You say, okay, listen, if it sells, I'll come back next week and pick up money, right? If it doesn't sell, I'll just come back next week and just pick up my books. And sometimes some people prefer that. Some people work for that. That way you can say, hey guys, my book is at so-and-so comic book shop. Go pick it up today. And you move it that way. What up, Kevin? Or like Sam said, the way, what he prefers is you go in there with your book, say, hey, here's my book. I'll give it to you at a discount. Give me $3 for it or whatever. You can sell it for $5 and, you walk out with your money. You walk out with your money in hand. And if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And it is what it is. They hold on to it. They can sell it at a later time or whatever it is. A lot of stores don't do that anymore, right? They go through Diamond. They go through Diamond. They just want to, or not just Diamond now, Luna, or whatever, just a distributor. They want to go through a distributor for whatever reasons. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't spoken to store owners enough about it to see why. What do you think a store owner would prefer it? To prefer to go through a distributor, Sam? What do you think?
Because they have a clause in the contract that there's a buyback clause. They guaranteed the product. Usually, if it's in distributor, that means there's a demand for it, right? That means the legwork, there's a marketing budget behind it. There's a lot of things that allows the comic shop owner to be comfortable with that decision and supporting a new product that's supported by a distribution that has a lot of clauses in that, in order to break into a Diamond, if you're an unknown, they require you to have a lot of things secured, right? So that legwork is already done. You walking into a shop, it's all these unknown variables, right? It's your risk to me. And then, to Lori's point, when he says too many horror stories with consignment, the reason why I don't do consignment, because they could just put you at the back of the comic shop in a corner on the bottom shelf, all in the bottom to the left. But no one's going to see it. And then there's a buyback clause. Then you get it back and it's wrinkled and it's damaged. And all you did was wasted your time and money and you just took an L, right? So for me, it's about, I prefer, if I don't have a distributor, that you pay me up front, it goes on your shelf. You buy a minimum of 5. I would hope 10 ideal, but a minimum of 5 from me. And because that cost, you're really not getting anything but exposure, right? So the big thing is just being able to say, hey, I'm at this shop, for an unknown comic. Then you can go out and promote it and say, hey, guys, go check out my stuff. I'm at this shop. And the best thing that you would like to see happen is that those 5 or 10 books that they put on the shelf is gone in that first week, and they ordered this. They wanted to re-up. They say, you know what? Can you sell us 10 more? They went fast, right? That's the best case scenario. But it's always a risk. Every dollar counts for a comic shop owner, so they're going to be very mindful. So they want security. Security is a distributor.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, basically, seems like playing it safe more than take. Yeah, exactly. So basically, Carissa, what's going on? So essentially, what happens is with consignment, the shop, you're taking the risk with consignment. In other words, the person that's going in there, the creator of the book, they're taking the chance, they're taking the risk. With resale, the comic book shop is taking the risk, right?
Yes.
So, and that's what happens with the comic book shop. When it comes to distributing, or when you have a distributor, the distributor, like you said, there are certain things that you must have. In other words, you must have more than one comic more than one issue or whatever, if it's an ongoing series in the can. They're not going to take you unless you have a few issues done, right? So the store knows, hey, if I pick up this issue this month and it sells, I'll have the issue next month because I'm just going to order it from whatever distributor it is and they're going to send it to me. So they don't have to worry about the guy that walks in there off the street, says he has a comic book, that he has a bunch of comics. Now the people are buying it, and come next month it's not available because they never finished it. You know, it's a risk they're taking. And you got to understand that from a business standpoint, from a person who has a small comic book shop. I've had LCS owners research my history to see how often I release my comic. Right. That way they know there's not a 2-year break between issues. And that's the biggest thing, right? The risk that they're taking. Because if it's a good book, bro, like people are going to come in and ask for it. But just like they are asking for it, if it's not around, they're going to go away and forget about it. Yeah. So consignment is one of those things, like you said, where the book can get put in the back. It doesn't sell. Why isn't it selling? Well, because nobody can see it. Just,
right. Because if they don't
risk, you know what I mean?
They're doing it because they feel like it's on, you know what, they want to help you out, but they don't do it justice. They throw you in the back corner on the bottom shelf where no one's going to find it. And, unless you're tying your sneaker, it doesn't help anybody. Right. So I think the best approach, how I would take it, right. If I wanted to break into and hand carry, do the old school, digging into crates, grassroots approach. What I would suggest is make a partnership with the LCS and say, hey, when are you going to host your next in-store signing, or when are you going to I'd love to do an in-store signing, right? Plan it down like 6 weeks in advance. Go out there and promote the shit, right? And then go into the store and, have your table and sell your books. And then based on that, say, if you had a crowd and you sold your books, now you can negotiate and say, hey, I'd love for you to carry. Most of the time, if they see that you have an audience, they're going to say, you know what, we want to carry, we want to buy 10 from you, right? So if you want to break in, try to build a partnership, do an in-store signing, promote the hell out of it, drive traffic there. Yeah. They're going to approach you and they're going to say, you know what, you brought a lot of traffic to the store. We want your stuff on the shelf. This way, it's a safety net for both, right? They're winning, you're winning, and I think that's the safest bet I would gamble on for an unknown. But you got to understand it's risk. It's all risk for the comic shop owner. Yeah.
You also, the other thing you have, the problem you run into is you gotta keep very good track of your inventory, right? If especially when you're doing consignment, because if you're going into a store with 5 books, you come back next week, all the books are gone off the shelf, but you're only getting, half of that money. It's like, what happened to the other books? Right. But you have to know that. You have to know what your inventory is looking like. So you have to be very careful about how many books you bring in, what the deal was as far as like how much you guys agreed on the price.
No, you have to have an invoice and you got to have them sign that document, right? Yeah. And just say, get the manager to sign, not a cashier at the register, because the manager can say he was never authorized, right? You always want the decision maker to have their handcag on there. Yep. That's the person you negotiating, not the cashier, and not the stock boy.
Those are the nightmares, right? Those are the problems that you can run into if you're not on point on top of your stuff.
Yeah.
For sure, 100%.
Because that adds to it, right? It's like, well, you walk in and the cashier, he wants to make a name for himself because he wants to get promoted. So he's like, yeah, we'll take it and we'll put it on consignment, put it on the shelf, or whatever. And then you come back, it's gone. He's like, we have no documentation of it. The manager never made that decision. Right. The owner never made that decision. He has no authorization to do so. And you have no documentation. So you go in there, make sure you have an invoice, carbon copy. They sign, you sign, bang. You got the Hancock. You go in, you take a picture when they put it on the shelf that you have evidence, right? Today you got to, if you don't have a distributor, there's extra steps you have to do to protect yourself. Yeah. And it's not worth it. That's why I just said, just pay me up front. Or don't waste my time.
What's funny, man? As we're talking about this, I'm thinking about, damn, man, we are jaded, bro. Like we trust no one. And I think it's the I guess, and I hate to say it, it's like the New Yorker in us, right? Like somebody's always trying to get, not get over or whatever it is. So you have to be careful. And this may not happen in like smaller towns or whatever, where everybody knows each other. I'm sure there's a lot of nice store owners there who, stick by their word, but you got to be careful.
Because comic shop owners, they have that song. Because we're getting over one indie at a time. We getting over.
is them ready to come in yet? Is he ready to come on? Because
that was a good one, though. You like that? It's like, have either you or any other creator in chat been burnt? Like you said before. Nah, I'm too smart for that crap.
I haven't. Yeah, I know. I haven't been burnt. But you know what? It was one of those things where, like, you know, you have to be careful, right? And we come in with that mentality of, hey, man, you're not gonna burn me today. And, like, you know, when we started doing this, we came in with that mentality.
And to
like,
Midtown,
trust no one.
Midtown Comics credit, we approached them and said, hey, would you like to put this on the shelf as consignment? They said, nah, we'll pay you up front.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Remember? They were like, nah. Because we were number one, we were patrons of this, right? We were dedicated members. We were going there. They knew who we were.
Yeah.
Then they were excited about it. And then they ordered a second round because they sold. Right. So I think
Carrie said, why should this be easy? Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So and that was back then when Midtown Comics was our local shop. But no, I think today.
Well, we were there all the time because remember we used to meet at the bar at the.
That was our hangout.
Yeah, at the Starbucks around the corner.
And we had our pull list. We would go there every week, and they had our stuff ready for us.
So they were ready. I mean, they knew, you know, who we were and stuff like that. And at the time, and it's crazy because it changed a lot after that.
Yeah.
Because
now
Diamond
distributors themselves.
What was it? Was this? I don't know if this was true. Diamond apparently started sending people to the store to see what was on the shelves, and if the stuff that was on the shelves wasn't in their catalog, they would kind of like
Diamond was acting like the mafia.
Exactly. Not necessarily find the store, but you know, hurt them in other ways where like they would send their stuff late or whatever. Yeah, I was like, damn, that's what's happening out here. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they got too big for their britches. But
they lost a bunch of stuff. So
yeah, I think in this world, we and more so, right? And especially in this day and age where everything is pricier. I mean, every day you go, you know, one day you're paying this amount to print something, the next day you're paying this amount, right? Shipping is out of control, right? It's like now, if I order prints, I got to order bulk because the shipping price alone is like ordering, you know, 300 prints, you know? So I have to make sure it justifies paying for that shipping price. Yeah. That shipping price is like ordering prints, right? So it's when the dollar it doesn't go as far as it used to. I understand why comic shop owners are treading carefully, and I also understand why they're banking on a sure thing with Funko Pops and, you know, tabletop gaming and all that stuff, because those are sure things. They bring in crowds, you know, and they host tournaments, they sell food, and in those tournaments, those players, those patrons are buying new figurines for the game. They're writing cards. They're buying all the stuff from the store, so they're making bank. Comics is not a sure thing. Because you know it's changed. The mystique has changed. So you have to be that much more cautious as a shop owner, and you have to be that much more savvy as a creator trying to break into the game, where, you know, some of the nostalgia and the magic has faded, which is why we need things to reignite the excitement in the game. We need those things because to drive that traffic. I mean, we just talked about a Comic-Con that says Superhero Comic-Con, but it was everything but a Comic-Con, right? So it's they're shifting gears to pop culture and celebrities, and it's becoming a celebrity event or a thrift shop instead of a comic book event, right? So we're our heroes in comics. So as creators, you got to work harder.
Yeah, I was talking to my brother-in-law here. They've gone to a couple of like wrestling events, right? And he was telling me about like this is like WWE or AW, none of that stuff. It's just like local indie kind of underground wrestling events. And the wrestlers who go there, not only they wrestle, obviously they wrestle, but they also are allowed to set up tables after their matches to sell their merchandise, whether it's t-shirts, they have like little plush toys of themselves and stuff like that. But entrance is free. The entrance to the place is free.
So they're going to spend more money at the venue.
Exactly. So not everybody can spend $20 on a little plushie from an unknown guy, you know what I mean, who they just want to support because he's doing his thing. He's trying to do his thing. Comic book conventions have gone away from that.
Yes.
Right? They've gone away from that. They've gone to the celebrities because it's easy money. $100 at the door, $300 for a signature. They split that. Meanwhile, they charge us $400 or $500 for the table. So we're paying for those celebrities to come in and kind of hang out. You know what I mean? And
yes.
And so it's changed so much. If they just went back to what it was, listen, we're going to pay for the tables anyway. Make that entrance free so that at least the people can come in and spend some money on whatever's there.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a family of 5 coming into that convention paying $100 a piece?
No.
$500 later, like what are you?
That's exactly what happened,
buying,
right?
Bro? Yeah, exactly.
Because they want to make sure they get a return on their investment, but screw everybody else who's attending, the vendors and the creatives, because now the wallet size is smaller, right?
Mm-hmm.
The average spend is smaller, and people are going to be very specific on where they spend that extra cash that they have left that they didn't pay for food and transportation, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a whole lot. Thank you all. We have. So it's a whole lot to consider, but I would say, again, if you're going to do consignment, know what you're going to get into, get a signature, only talk to the management team. Don't talk to the staff because they don't have authorization to do so. Get a signature, get a copy, take a photograph, and then keep good track of your inventory.
For sure.
Because it's in your best interest. But if you're going to go consignment, put it in a bag and board. Because if it's a buyback, you don't want that. You want to be able to resell it at a Comic-Con if they don't sell it. So at least if it's bagged and board, people are not going to go and destroy it. It's going to, you to get back hopefully in the same condition you left it. But if you leave it without a bag and board, you run the risk of it getting torn and wrinkled and all that stuff, and it's worthless to you. It would be interesting. Well,
to get the perspective. Yeah. No, you're right, man. We've tried to get a couple of like just store owners and talk, but it's hard to get them on.
Yeah.
The event already made the money they were out to make. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that lots to consider. Again, if you're an indie, don't get got, because that it'll happen quickly. Don't get got. That's a New York slang. Be careful. But with that said, we do have our guests waiting in the ready room.
Yes.
I do want to remind everybody that I do have an art channel. If you haven't checked it out, check out the Art of Samuel, and we're going to bring in our guest right in a second. What's up, Dave?
There he is. What's going on, Nam? How you been, buddy?
I'm doing all right. Surprised to hear you're out in my neck of the woods, or you might.
Yes.
California's a big place, so
No, I know. I'm up north. I'm near. I'm very close to Fresno. About 40 minutes from Fresno.
You're not in my neck of the woods, so. I was like, damn. I was like, George is out here and he's not coming to see me. What's up with that?
Yeah. Well, that's because I'm up north near Fresno, I guess.
Yeah. Although it was crazy. I was like, listen to everybody talk about temps. I'm like, geez, usually we're hot. Like, we're having a cool period right now. It was only 95 here today. So
wow. Damn, really? Jesus. Put on some sweatshirts, bro. It's cold out here.
I know. I was like wearing a hoodie and tracksuit, the whole thing. So
Damn.
If I went outside looking like just normal in a t-shirt and shorts, I would have got. So, somebody.
Now, have you had any situations where you've done any consignment at stores, or what's been your experience like with comic shops?
It depends on the store. It depends on the manager, who I trust and who I don't, like some people I'm like, we'll take it on consignment. I'm like, I'm going to drop that thing off and that thing's going to be in the wastebasket like 5 seconds. Or something. Little shameless plug. I'm going to be at a shop called Quest in Redlands in the first week of August. Yeah, and then I'm going to their second location, Rancho Cucamonga, later this year. But I'm doing
Cucamonga.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm doing a signing there, and they want to do it on consignment. And I said, hey, let's see what happens with the signing. So it's kind of like what Sam was talking about. I was like, if the signing goes well and I get people come in, I'm hoping they're going to be like, hey, we want to buy some books, and it's like, but they're real cool about it, because not only am I doing a signing for my stuff, I'm bringing a bunch of ASAP Imagination books. They're letting me sign my novel there, so I'm doing a book signing at comic shop, so plus I'm selling, they let me sell whatever I want, stickers, shirts. So yeah,
Nice.
it's cool. So, but
Nice.
yeah, I mean, there have been places I went in and I saw the guy and, he's chomping on a cigar and, the whole thing. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't a good situation. So.
Nah, man, that's good. That's good. So for those watching and the chat, Lloyd Calcaterra is being disruptive in the chat, talking about my shacket. By the way, shackets are the way to go, bro. A shirt and a jacket in one. All right.
Oh no, it's special.
Don't
It's
knock
special.
it until you've owned one.
Because I gotta have faith. The faith.
But come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro. She got some high kicks.
Yo,
I think you were being a Lakers fan for a second with the shacket there, man. I was like, what?
No. I'm I just visit Cali. I'm not here to stay. But none. So okay, so you've been on the show before, but for those who maybe haven't seen that episode, tell us a little bit about who you are, what your background is, and what do you do? I know you're a writer, so what's your genre? Like, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Nim, so that's all there is to say. No,
done. Quick, easy. I like it.
It is funny though. I've come to be known by that name, Nim. My real name is Dave Howard, but my wife actually called me Nim when she came to bed last night, which was a first.
Wow!
Holy crap! And she switches Nim now to everybody out in the universe. But my real name's Dave Howard. I am a writer. I like to write science fiction and horror mostly. But I, as L.A. Cunningham will attest, because she keeps wanting me to tell her where this could be found, I have written romance and other stuff before. On a dare once, many years ago, I wrote Harry Potter romance fan fiction, and it became extremely popular and in demand. So, that's my fallback plan if I ever, get out of comics. But yeah, no, I like to write horror and science fiction, both in comics and in novels. I'm into both of those a lot. Not that I have anything against any other genre. Those just happen to be my favorite. But yeah, I've been writing for a long time. I've been writing since I wrote my first horror story. I was like 8,
Damn, dude.
And did that. And then I started writing, poetry and plays and stuff like that. And that was the real job, man. I went out there and got the real job, and I kept writing in the background. But I loved writing the whole time. I've always wanted to be a writer. And eventually my wife kicked some sense into me and was like, you know what, go follow your dream, be a writer. And I did. And I met these great people at the right time in my life. Hades, you already talked about, met L.A. Cunningham. I met another lady named Sarah Butcher, who's gone on to do other stuff, but she was great as well. And we worked together and they helped me go from being a writer who wanted to write to being a writer who is writing, which is a big step.
That's awesome.
And I always thought I was just going to be a short story and novelist. And then this dude, Hades, who has these crazy ideas, goes, hey, do you want to write a comic? I was like, yeah. And then it went from there, and then I love writing comics. I absolutely adore it. My favorite type of writing before comics was short stories, because I love the challenge of being able to get a whole story contained in a small amount of thing. And each comic issue is like that on steroids. It's like you got to fit it all in there and get everything you want to tell and then leave the hook for the next thing. So I love that part of writing comics. But yeah, I mean, that's who I am. As far as personally, I'm not an old dude, but I'm getting there. I'm in my 50s. I now have 3 grown children, which is weird. Really, really weird. My son is getting married pretty soon.
Wow, congratulations, man.
Thank you. And and it's like I have been out there, like I'm looking for another real world job right now. And they're like, coming at me with, hey, tell us every place you've ever worked since we were 15. I was like, how much time do you have? So it's one of those situations. But it's like, it's cool though, because for all of you who are worried about getting older, you wake up in the morning with a few more creaks, a few more pains, but you have more experience. And as a writer, you have a lot more to draw on. It's like, I've had so much crazy shit happen to me in life. And I tell people the stories, and they're like, there's no way that's true. It's like, bro, you have no idea. You have no idea. So, so that's
true, man. Yeah, it is. Nem needs a clone. It was easy to talk him into writing a comic. Do you wanna? Yep. So wait, so let's go back to like your I guess you writing horror at the age of 8. Like, what got you into writing horror, dude? And especially at such an early age. Like, what was it? What was it? A movie? Was it a book you read? Like, what was it that got you into it?
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess everybody always asks me this question when I go like on purely writing podcasts. It's like, what you know, what is the best advice you can give to a writer? And my best advice to give to any writer is to read. You know, it's like the more you read, the more you learn about writing, believe it or not. You know, and so my mom, she was crazy about getting us to read early. And I started reading really early, like we're talking 3, 4, something like that.
Wow.
You know, and so by the time I was 8, I had been reading Edgar Allan Poe and wasn't into Lovecraft yet, but you know, reading J.R.R. Tolkien, a bunch of other stuff. And so I really liked fantasy, and I got into D&D through The Hobbit and stuff like that. But my big thing was Edgar Allan Poe. I read Mask of the Red Death the first time, and I was like, holy crap, this is great. So at 8 years old, and then the other thing was I love watching horror movies. And up until recently, I was on a horror movie podcast. You know, life takes its toll, and you only have so much time. But very early, I mean, Play Misty for me, I watched early. I watched Omen when it came out. I was like 7, you know.
Wow.
Rosemary's Baby. It was just like all these things my parents were showing me, and it's like, probably you shouldn't have showed me that as a kid. So yeah, we had this contest for my school district. And they're like, hey, you know, you need to write a story. And all these kids were writing these great, shiny, happy stories. And Nem writes a story based on a local Native American legend, because I'm Native American. It's about this thing called Tahquitz Peak. And actually look it up. It's like right here in Riverside. And it's about this guy who turned into a demon, and he was trapped in the mountain. And if you look at the mountain for real, it looks like there's a face in the mountain looking out at you. So I wrote this story about this demon that possesses this book, and like these kids end up, you know, you leave off at the end where there's a knife following the kids, like they're going to get killed by this demon type thing. I wrote this at 8 years old, and I won the whole thing, and they published it, you know. But meanwhile, looking back on it, I'm like, man, all the teachers must have been looking at my parents like, what have you done to this kid?
Seriously, dude, I'm surprised they didn't take you to like counseling or something. Like, what's going on with this kid? Like, why is he writing these things? Yeah. Amazing. Have you? Do you still have a copy of this? Of this award-winning? You do. Yeah. Does it hold up? Like, when you read it, are you like, wow, that I wrote this?
The story really does. The flow of the story.
That's
and
amazing.
Obviously, I would rewrite it now, but I'll tell you it. And she's right. It was the creepy dolls. That was another thing. I mean, if you really want to get into my mind, ask me to explain where the creepy doll phobia came from. But yeah, I still have it. In fact, I was looking at it the other day. I'm working on a collection of short stories for kids. I may rewrite the short story and put it in the book. And I don't know if it would work as a comic, but it's weird because I like to write sometimes in this flashback style where you're in the present and then you go back to things and you go back and forth. I was doing that at 8. I was like, what am I doing here, man?
Dude, holy cow. You know what? I've been like this since I was a kid too. My parents have sent me pics of my Halloween costumes. That's amazing.
Kindred souls. So yeah.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. All right. So you've been writing for a very long time. I know that you have you have a couple of books that you've written. The last time you were on, you were talking about one of them, but this is a new book that you have now, right? The Phoenix Phoenix Stone. So tell us a little bit about what this new book is about.
So it's called Blood World, and then it's Phoenix Stone. And I guess I have to explain that for everyone. Blood World is the setting, you know, so like Doom to be a setting, and then Phoenix Stone is the name of this book. But originally, Blood World was something I came up with to write a novel, you know, and I'm already in the middle of another novel series. I keep starting stuff, and I need to sit down and finish some things right now, but I'm already in the middle of that. And I was like, I don't really have time to write this. And this is a huge science fiction story, but I love the setting. So as I was getting ready for this one story that I still plan on making into a different comic book title, I sat down and I started writing all of the history, because I'm like, I'm one of those people that loves to know what came before and what comes next.
The world building, right? Yep.
And I wrote 500 pages of history and text specs and everything for this whole universe, starting from 2017 and going all through the current year of the setting where we pick up the story, which is 2587. So I wrote all this stuff out and I drew text specs and, you know, and people would, and I started talking to friends about it that are also writers, and they got really excited about it. And they're like, man, this is great. And how does this work? And how does that work? And I was telling them, and they wanted to get in on it too. And actually there's other people writing stuff in Blood World right now.
Oh, cool.
But so I did all that. And then I was thinking about, I'm looking at this going, what am I going to do with this? Because I don't have time to write another novel. You know, writing a novel takes a lot of time. And I said, this would be a really cool comic. But if I write a comic, I can't start where I wanted to do the novel. I got to start over here, which is the Phoenix Throne, which are these people around Ganymede, you know? And so I shifted gears, built out that part of the world even more, and then wrote the first script for Phoenix Throne and showed it to some people. And I got some great reactions to that. People loved it, you know, because it's got, you know, I wrote it, so it's just my opinion, but I mean, it's got giant mechs battles, it's got politics, it's got sex, it's got deceit, it's got lies, it's got an insurrection starting, you know, all of that is in the first issue. And I know like Lori C there read it, and she was like, damn it, I want issue 2. And I was like, that's like music to my ears, you know?
Yeah.
So but writing all that, and it really is the kind of thing that I've wanted to write for a long time. You know, horror is fun, and I love writing horror, and I love doing my scary stuff. But after that, I love science fiction books and stuff. I've always loved Dune. I love reading Alan Dean Foster's Star Wars stuff, and then the you know, later on Timothy Zahn, you know, so all of these Star Trek books. So I took all of that and created this new universe called Blood World that we could build on. And it's a ton of fun, you know. And so basically what it is what is the future of humanity going to be? And there's 3 different factions that are warring it out for it. One is about mutations, one's about genetic engineering, and then the people that live around Jupiter on the planet Ganymede, they created a monarchy for themselves and the monarch sits on the Phoenix Throne. And they're all about fusing technology and people together, you know.
Wow.
So putting technology into people. And none of these factions like each other. And the current queen is unsteady. She's not really popular with some of the nobles. And there's a lot of reasons that I go into eventually, you know, and I don't want to name it, which is now an official verb in the dictionary. But
where you spoil, is that where you spoil things?
Yeah,
you're not supposed to spoil, you're naming it.
Yeah.
But Nem, so you wrote 500 pages of world building. How long did that take you to do? Because I'm big on world building myself. Like I love to have the world ready before I even start writing a script. So how long did that world building take you to do?
When I first came up with the idea, actually all the way back in 2010.
Okay.
And it just kind of sat there. Like I wrote down the pitch for myself, you know, like for the first book back then. And then I started building on stuff and adding things to what's called S3, the Seoul Scientific Symposium. And they're the ones that are all about genetic engineering. And I created these assassins called blood wraiths that do stuff and all these different things. So I was building on that. And I love to watch documentaries. So every time I watch a documentary, I take some of that science and try and bring it there and then figure out what 500 years from now, what that would be like, you know? And so I was doing all that. And then COVID hit, you know? And COVID was the thing that was like really kickstarted this project major, you know? So I'd already written a lot of the history. But then I was like, okay, what if COVID, I started thinking to myself, I was like, what if COVID was 500 times worse than it was? You know, what if COVID was something that not only affected us, but affected the plants, it affected the geology. I mean, it actually could mutate and infect rocks and stuff like that. It became a living thing.
Wow.
And what would that do to the earth? And, you know, what would the people do? And people just got the hell off the planet, you know, in my history. And I started doing all this stuff. And then it just kind of took a life of its own. So I'd say when I finally started actually digging into it, wrote the 500 pages probably in about 6 months, So
wow, holy
yeah,
cow, that's fast,
yeah.
dude. That's fast. So now, obviously, with all the world building already set up, already set up, writing the script for this comic that you have now must have been a cinch. 2 weeks, right, to write that script.
3 days.
What? Damn, really?
Yep.
3 days, 22-page script, or how long is the script?
22 pages. So
22. That's great, dude. 3 days.
22.
Good for
The
you.
book is the story is 22 pages, and the book is 32, because not only are we giving you the story, we give you. I love to do fun stuff in my books, so I'm giving you fake ads within the universe,
That's
that
nice.
are in there. We got a bunch of, like, Lori's seen the sea monkeys. They're up on our different campaigns. Oh, well, not sea monkeys, space monkeys. So we got space monkey stuff in there. We got ads for S3 stuff, things like that. I give you a fake news report in there to let you know something that's going on somewhere else in the universe. And then we got ads. I got an ad in there for Comic Crusaders. I got an ad in there for Offset from ASAP Imagination, because I know the writer. So
Oh yeah. Nice guy. Nice guy. I heard he spoils things though. I heard he spoils endings and stuff like that. We got to be careful with him.
And then the last extra we throw in there is I actually got a guy to draw up a blueprint of one of the mech suits. So we got that in there. And we're going to offer those as tech stuff, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those nerds that loved, looking at the Star Wars tech manual and all that stuff. So, I always dug that stuff. So, people ask me that stuff. It's like one of the questions another writer who's going to be doing stuff in this series asked me, is he goes, how does the space travel work? And I start to think about it. And I was watching the movie Interstellar a few months before that. And I was like, I took some stuff from there and put it together, and some cool stuff. So yeah,
that's awesome, dude.
That's the fun thing to do, man. I love the world build. So
absolutely. So Hugo obviously is a backer, but if anybody else is interested in picking this book up, how do they get their hands on it? Where is it being crowdfunded?
Yeah, right now it's on Fund My Comic. So if you go to fundmycomic.com and it's Phoenix-Throne 1, you can go there. I'm just gonna be honest. We're not, I'm having a hard time getting eyes on it. I think there's a couple different reasons, but we're not going to give up. I got some good advice also. So I'm doing a Kickstarter that we're going to kick off next week. I could give you guys the link later because we're not live right now. So
yeah. We're always live.
Yeah.
No, we are live.
Oh, no, he's saying he's not live. His thing's not live.
Yeah. So that's going to go out there, but learning all the time about this Kickstarter thing and promoting, that's the most difficult thing for me. I mean, that's one of the things I like watching Catch the Craze for, is that if you ask me to sit down and write you, hey man, can you write me a comic, or can you write me a short story? I could sit down and not break that thing out for you, super fast. But it's like, if you ask me for business stuff, all of this is just a learning curve, and people may not believe it, but behind the scenes, I'm kind of an introvert. I like to be, alone in the dark, So
yeah.
So it's not the most natural thing to me, which is not an excuse. It's just an acknowledgement that that's one of the things I got to work on, and get better. So
yeah.
But most creatives are introverts anyway.
Absolutely. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. No, I mean, I prefer to kind of be like in my own little world, creating and writing. But this is a necessary evil, right? I mean, or not evil, but this is necessary. We have to do this.
Don't believe the hype. George is a social butterfly.
And part of what we have to do, and part of what we do here, right? Part of what we do here is it's not that we have all the answers, but we've made a lot of mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So part of it is talking about those mistakes and seeing how we can fix them. We talk about it with Sam all the time. Okay, what do we do? Whether it's a cover, whether it's what happened at the show, why didn't, what's the pitch? What should we do? Even crowdfunding, dude, Kickstarters, they're tough.
Kickstarters kicking butt.
They are tough, dude.
Kicking my butt.
Yeah, but I'm glad you're going to the Kickstarter route. I've heard of Fund My Comic. I'm not sure about how it works or anything like that. I'm assuming you still have to sign up, and it works very similar to Kickstarter. Are you finding that it's hard to get the eyes on it because it's not like as big as Kickstarter, or what are you finding them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the problem. I was just looking for the link. I was paying attention, but I'll throw the link up for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, do that so that people can start following it.
Yeah, so I'll put that in the chat so people can look at it. You know, and I would. Oh, now YouTube's making me do the same. All right, so yeah, I mean,
you could put it in a private
put it in a private, and I can dump it.
I'll put it in the private right here. Here we go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Fund My Comic. I went there, and I thought that it's not a bash on Kickstarter, but I was looking at the amount of comics on Kickstarter, and it seemed to me, from what I was getting shown, maybe they just think I'm some sort of super freak or something, but I was just getting tons of erotica and stuff like that, you know?
That's what's there, bro.
And I'm like, man, I don't think this is my audience. You know, it's like there's sex in Phoenix Throne, but it's PG-13 sex, man. I'm not showing you everything. I'm like strategically covering things, you know? So
right.
Like, I don't know if this is going to fly here. So I was looking for my audience, and I figured, well, it seemed like the hardcore comic fan was at Fund My Comic, which is true. But the people that seemed, you know, the more after I had done it and I started looking at everything, man, those people were all bringing people with them. They weren't new. You know, these are guys that had a built-in following. And if you're trying to break through as a new guy, I think it's going to be pretty difficult over there, you know? So, and then I was talking to Lori Calcaterra, who is just an invaluable resource, as well as being an incredibly talented writer.
Yeah, she is.
My book. So, and she was like, you know, try Kickstarter, you know, go over there. So, that's what I'm doing right now. And she gave me a bunch of tips on my campaign. And, you know, it's just one of those things. It's like, I'm just going to keep cracking away on this thing. I'm still working on new stuff right now. You know, it's difficult sometimes. You know, sometimes you got to reset and be like, man, I need a few days to just be down and kind of be like in dumps for a little bit and then get back up and keep going. But yeah, I mean, coming over to Kickstarter, it is true. It seems like you get more eyes on stuff, like the algorithm works better for you. You know, so that's going for me. Also, you know, I'm not big into playing into demographics and stuff like that, but at the same time, it was interesting to me that they were asking me about my demographics. And I'm talking about, hey, this book is written and worked on by people all over the world, and they seem interested in that. I was like, I'm not going to make that my main selling point, but if people want to come and take a look at what we're doing because of that, I'm not going to turn it away either. You know,
of course, yeah. No, absolutely, man. You got to use it.
You know, you brought up an interesting point, right? And I think you never know what the hook is going to be, but if you see a trend or an attraction to something you may not have considered, I would run with it, because any form of promotion is good promotion, and the audience will decide what they're going to appeal to, right? So if you say, you know, you've been working, you know, an entire month on your pitch, but they prefer this angle, like you said, that, you know, the international approach, run with it. You know, there's no right or wrong. It's just about connecting with that audience.
Yeah. And I'm not too proud to change tack or say I'm wrong. Plus, hey, I'm out here grinding like everybody else, so I can't afford to be proud, you know. So it's
right. Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever works, man. I was talking to my wife the other day. I was like, man, I will pimp myself out for whatever works.
You do what you got to do, Nam. You do what you got to do. That's what it's all about. But I'm glad. Listen, I'm glad that you're trying Kickstarter as well. When will you be launching on Kickstarter? Is there a launch date for it?
It's launching on July 10th. So
okay, all right, next week.
Yeah, next week. So we're going to go, and we are adding stuff that is not on the Fund My Project. So, you know, for everybody who backed us on Fund My Project, thank you. I don't know if it's going to back. I'm going to send a notification out. I don't know if Fund My Project will be happy about it, but it's my project, so tough on them. If we don't back, I'll send a notification out pointing everyone towards the Kickstarter. But we're bringing new stuff there. In fact, one of the things we just finished is my artist on OPSEC drew a bunch of space monkeys, and we're doing a color form set for space monkeys.
Nice. So, and he's a hell of an artist, bro. He's a hell of an artist.
And it's a hell of a lot of fun, and we got a lot of cool stickers. And my wife's getting in on the act. My wife has a cricket that she obtained from work, you know. So yeah. Well, she didn't steal it. It's just they didn't use it anymore, and so
she obtained it. Listen, them, we get it. Don't spoil it, all right?
Yeah, I mean, it is lucky.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
I am lucky that that my wife is very supportive, and she's out there. I was sleeping one day, and I wake up, and she had gotten a bunch of stuff off the computer and made stickers at home, So
wow. That's amazing, dude. That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's good stuff, man. I don't want to get into a whole love letter here. I'm going to be writing fan fiction again, romance.
Oh, good, but hey, listen, definitely. I mean, you'll have my pledge next week on Kickstarter for sure, dude. So when that launches, I got you for sure, man. But nah, man, this is great. Listen, I appreciate you coming on. I'm glad you came on the show. I can't wait to read the comic and see all the extra features that you have. Now, when do you think, obviously, Kickstarter, whatever, fulfilling, when do you think we would get this comic book in our hands? When it does fund on Kickstarter, because it's going to fund. When do you think we'll get it?
The book is completely done, drawn, lettered, everything. In fact, nice. I've got some over here that I printed out for myself to do signings and everything. Oh, so cool. As far as fulfilling orders, just depends on what covers, because we got 4 different covers for the book as well. Nice. So, what covers everybody has. And as soon as we get them printed and shipped to us, we'll get them out. So I'm anticipating 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
All right. So, awesome. Awesome, dude. That sounds good.
So,
that sounds good.
One of the things I learned, there was an original plan, which was to do something much larger, which I still want to do, which is like a 2000 AD type magazine. But that requires a lot of, for a 100-page magazine, that's a lot of money for full art.
Absolutely.
But one of the things I learned is people, want a book that's done. So I was like, this time I paid for it, I funded it, I got it done, and I kind of like working that way anyway. Same thing with the artists. I'm like, I don't like getting somebody to work for me if I don't have the money in hand to pay them, because
same here.
It just makes me nervous. I hate to be on the hook for paying somebody and I can't, so.
Yeah. Nah, good job, man. Good job. Well, Nam, where can we find you? Do you have a website? What's your social handles? What do we got?
Yeah, so you can find me at dwhoward.com. That's my personal website. I've got a sign up for my newsletter there, and my mailing list. I send out updates and stuff like that on there. I also give you updates on Blood World. I'm going to have all the other books and everything on there. I have raincrosspress.com, which is down at the moment, so don't go there at the moment. But we'll be relaunching. I'll let everybody know that. And then everywhere else, believe it or not, I am Nemesis FC2 everywhere. So Facebook, Twitter, YouTube is Nemesis FC2, Instagram, it's all there. And then eventually I'll figure out TikTok, but I don't think I'm going to get my handle there. So, by the time I figure out TikTok, it'll be banned. So,
Word. Neb, thanks so much for coming on, my friend. Everybody watching, make sure you sign up for the Kickstarter that launches next week. And if you still, if you guys prefer Fund My Comic, go to fundmycomic.com and check it out there also. Neb, thanks so much, my brother. Thank you for coming on. Absolutely. Looking forward to this book.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Peace.
Take care, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Fantastic. There's so many options to crowdfund. Yeah, out there. It's interesting. But I still think that Kickstarter has the reach that nobody else has.
Yeah, dude. You can go to all of them. You can try all of them, and somehow you end up, I'm going to do a Kickstarter though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to try this one, I'm going to do that one, but I'm going to go back and do a Kickstarter. It just, it's got the biggest audience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. But yeah, no, big shout out to Nem. Obviously he's put in some work. He's definitely put in some work into this. The book is done. So make sure
that's half the battle.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, make sure that you guys, the link is in the chat for those who want to do it. For those who want to pledge and support.
Yeah, all the links were in the chat, all links in the summary. So check it out.
It's the Kleenex, it's the Xerox, it's a Q-tip of crowdfunding. It really is. When you think of crowdfunding, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kickstart that. I'm gonna kickstart that. That's just what you say. But yeah, man, fun show, good show.
Yeah, another fun show.
Great
tonight,
guest. You know what I mean? The
nice
participation.
turnout.
Yeah, the participation was awesome. Thank you,
everyone
who came out.
Yo, and next Tuesday, who do we got on next Tuesday?
What is next Tuesday, man?
Let's see, calendar.
I'll be back in New York next week. Great discussion. Yeah, thanks, Hugo. Good show. Look at that, Hades. You stayed up the whole time. Jesus, my man. Go get some sleep.
So next Tuesday we have Nick Edwards of Unearthly Comics. Unearthly Comics.
Oh, okay.
His new book is called Stilettos, a modern day revenge thriller graphic novel. There were two creators from Dallas trying to make comics that we like to read. Oh, from Dallas, up in my neck of the woods. Yeah, man. You gonna sing to me next Tuesday, George?
No. So let me sing to you. What would I be singing to you? What's
next
going on?
Tuesday's my birthday. You gonna sing to me or what?
Next are we gonna be celebrating your birthday live?
Bro.
Look at
this. Sing to me.
62nd birthday. You look great, bro.
Yo, he's tripping. He's tripping. Those are fighting words. Yo, everybody close your eyes for a second. If you hear a thud, don't worry about it. Don't be alarmed.
I like how it hit you like late. It was like a late delayed reaction.
I was like, you crazy
delayed reaction.
Well, all right, flex, man. Go reflex the pecs.
Whoa, easy. Easy, Terry Crews.
Terry Crews.
All right, so we're gonna have a good show next week. Make sure you tune in. It's
George is gonna
birthday.
Yes,
I'll sing. Yeah, you guys are gonna like it. If you there's a video on our social pages of us singing to some John Bon Jovi hit on the ride in San Antonio. Remember that, Sam? And it was not good. It was not good. It's a senior moment.
Mark Anthony and me, and I can't believe I didn't see it in
With that said, Sam, what else?
I couldn't see it. I can't believe it. Oh, but I feel it when you sing to me. Come on, George, you sing to me.
No, Mike, stop it. Stop it right now. That's definitely not what I'm gonna sound like. So
no.
Fair warning. Like I said, you don't remember the John Bon Jovi song we were singing in the car? Last week, it was terrible.
No, Anibal.
It didn't sound like
he sounded like a cat was being tortured.
It didn't sound like this. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, listen, food smells delicious out there. So I have to go.
I prefer Sam sing Little Butts.
Yo, what's up with the little butts?
Thank you, bro. Yes,
what's up with the little butts?
The little butts. Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. But yeah, great show. Yeah, can you believe it?
Good
July 9th. And I'm working that day. I have to work because I have this big seminar. I'm like, dang it. But it is what it is.
Bro.
I get no breaks. No love. No love,
son.
Yeah, man. But yeah, thank you everybody for showing up tonight. Yes. Thank you, everybody. Congratulations. I'm sure that on the Kickstarter that Blood World will rock out on Kickstarter.
Hell yeah.
It's the right venue for it. So keep pushing, do your thing, don't get discouraged, stay focused. And shout out to ASAP Imagination. You guys promote more than I ever do, and my hustle is real. And but Paul, you got me beat. Paul's working 24/7. So shout out to you and ASAP and what you're doing. You're doing big things. And everybody out there, stay safe, stay cool, stay hydrated. That's what I'm talking about. So if you haven't done so already, hit that like button, subscribe, tell a friend. Where'd you find this? When we grow, the independent community grows. You know how we do up here in Cast the Craze.
That's right.
So give us that like, let the algorithms work in our favor. And with that said, we'll see you next Tuesday. I am Sam, the Crazy Man Vera.
George, the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out.
It's just easy. It's not.
Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh, my.
He described me. He said, I'm the.
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on It's Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.